Bitcoin is in a very, very special position because over the last week or so, we have seen a very, very nice rally up to above 24,000, which is absolutely fantastic. But since then, we actually entered a symmetrical triangle, which I would usually think is quite bullish, but unfortunately, we've broken out of it. And it begs the question, has Bitcoin's rally on this occasion here failed? You see, we formed a few rallies since we fell below the $20,000 area, and had that catastrophic sell-off right there. We formed rally number 1, that failed. We formed rally number 2, did slightly better, but it failed, and we are on rally number 3 right now. Now, personally, I'm going to spoil this video for you. I think it's way too early to call if this rally has failed or not, but let me break this down for you and talk you through what I've been seeing on this chart anyway. So the first thing, which I think is really important, is I'm going to introduce something new, which I haven't actually spoken about on this channel yet. I speak about it a little bit, but not very much, although it's becoming more and more important, and it is this concept of deviations. Okay, so what we get with this market very often, very, very frequently, and we could be in it right now as well. Let's just show this to you in previous examples. This is a very, very big one, ladies and gents. I'm actually quite excited for this video. Is we do tend to form pretty nice patterns, and then we get our breakouts that almost look like we're going to do something quite nice, but it doesn't quite end up sticking. So this is actually a horrible example. Let me change this to be more of a parallel channel, and so we had a situation a little bit like this, right, where for the most part we were just kind of trading sideways. I mean, it doesn't really matter on the specifics of how you draw a channel like this, but for the most part we're just kind of trading sideways, and then we get our breakout right here, or as you guys hear me calling it, a fake out, and it doesn't end up keeping the market moving higher. Now, if you guys were watching the channel back then, you're going to remember that this is exactly where I started to get very suspicious about the market, and I closed out a huge Ethereum profit that I was in, currently still in a huge Bitcoin profit in a very similar circumstance right now. So that is very, very cool. Obviously, VIPs have known absolutely everything that's been going on there, and here's a screenshot of my gain. But actually, I've had quite a few really cool VIP testimonials come in. I just haven't had a chance to share them with you guys yet, but some really, really cool stuff going on. So if you want to get yourself inside, then the way to do that is by following these steps on screen. But moving back to the market, we do tend to get these deviations quite a bit, right? And so this is essentially where we've got our set trading range. It's pretty well defined. We deviate above it, and then we come right back down and actually continue the downtrend, right? So we've seen this happen a lot. It happened constantly in this situation right here, where we would set a high, deviate above it, come back down, deviate above it, come back down. We even did it on this occasion right here. I mean, this is very much the characteristic of this market. Here's another one right here. This one was quite a big one, actually. It was quite a significant one in my opinion. We had this kind of downtrend, and if I repeat the chart, if I replay the chart back here, it looked like we were about to establish a really, really nice rally to the upside. But of course, this turned out to be another deviation. And sure enough, the price ended up falling back down. Take a look at that. There's our dump coming in next. Bam. And we're down below the mid 40K range. So obviously that was a pretty significant bit of price action that took place in the market right there. And so we bring it back to where we are right now. And, you got to ask this question again. I mean, are we in a similar situation? Because we did have this parallel channel that we could draw on the market. We've broken out of that. We did have this this other parallel channel that we can draw in the market. We've definitely gone above that as well. But if we're coming back down in all sorts of ways now, is this really a deviation? I think that's the concern that a lot of people are facing. Let's see what the fear and greed index is saying as well. Hopefully this is dropping quite a bit. Damn, no, we are stable. We're still in fear. But we're hovering around the low 30s. There is still room to move, but I don't like seeing it this high. I would have expected that it would fall down a little bit more. And if we take a look at, I'm also very curious about where the longs and shorts are right here. Let's just load this up. I want to see where sentiment is now. Ideally, I want to be seeing more shorts in this market than longs, but yeah, we got more longs as well, so that's not looking good either. What we have here, to be fair, the fear and greed index does not look bad. It just doesn't look good, or it doesn't look super good. It looks okay. You know, this is the main idea that people are having is, you know, we fall back into this range, and really, you know, we've got this support area that I would define more specifically as being basically between where we are right now, 22.1, down to about 21.6, 21.7, just somewhere around there with this green box is you know, the key level to be keeping an eye on, in my opinion. Let me just define this for you very clearly. So you got the two green numbers right there representing this range, and you know, what I think is very, very important to take note of is that, yeah, if we do end up losing this area right now, then this would be our previous area of resistance failing to turn into support, and that would, yeah, definitely send us all the way back down to at least, I think, $19,000, if not potentially much lower, because usually when you do get these deviations, things get really bad, and the market continues trending down. So that's what we typically see. That's the doom and gloom over, because I just don't think we're in that case yet. Well, more importantly, I don't know if we're in that kind of situation, but I think it's foolish to say that we are until this support level fails. If this support level doesn't fail, then really what we've done here is we've had a bullish market breakout, and now, and crucially now, days after the pump actually happened, we are now coming back down for a retest to potentially bounce up. And to me, that is a really, really strong note for this market. You know, what I really like to see is that the market breaks out and it then takes days to somewhat slowly move down. You know, I mean, usually when the dumps happen, they're pretty quick, and we did see that right at the top. But what we have on this occasion right here, I just want to draw your attention to this, right, is if we zoom in a little bit further, just take a look at how beautifully this is playing out, right? So from the let's just say from this price level right here up to our high, we ended up making this whole move in this 9% move in one day. And you guys are going to remember up here, I started to say, look guys, this is nice, I really like what I'm seeing, but it's becoming unsustainable. I was putting posts exactly about that inside of VIP. That's why I've been taking profits on my position all the way up. It's why I raised my stop loss and so on. I mean, I can't even lose money on this position anymore. My stop loss is in a profit, and I've secured so many beautiful profits, so much beautiful profit, much higher up in this trend as well, purely because of that. So you know, that's been very, very cool for me for sure, and I'm glad just to see that risk management is paying off in that way. But this is the thing, is that, you know, it was a pretty quick rise up. It definitely wasn't sustainable, and you know, we can see the result of that right now, ladies and gents. But it's taken 3 times longer to come back down to the very same price level. And so to me, you know, that's showing me that when the market is moving up, it seems to be, you know, that there's a lot of energy behind it, but when the market is moving down, at least in this instance, I'm not seeing that much energy behind these price moves right here. And so you know, to me, that does potentially indicate that that move could be coming. You know, the other thing is, again, you know, until we invalidate this, like I said earlier, and this is kind of one of my biggest points, but I got a lot more to share with you guys in this video, so if you're excited for it, do me a favor and just fucking throw up a huge like on this video. Make sure you're subscribed as well, because if you are watching this content but you're not subscribed, you're gonna miss it, and obviously we don't want that to happen. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. We, you know, we have this area of resistance. We haven't tested it yet. We are testing it right now. You know, if we end up finding support here, you guys are going to remember, if you've been watching me for a while, that this would be one of the most bullish things that can happen. And then if we do end up rising up towards $28,000 after we've had support down here, that's going to make me feel a lot more confident that we might actually be able to break it. Because let's break this down. You know, this is where this channel really sets itself apart from everyone else on YouTube, is I want you guys to understand what this means. You know, obviously everyone knows that a back test of resistance turning into support is good, right? And if you don't know that, you need to get yourself inside the 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 Academy and just bring yourself up to speed, because this is pretty important information. But this is the thing, is everyone knows that, but why? Why is it so important? Let me tell you why. What we have here is the bulls have a lot of strength, and now the bears are having their chance to flex. They're showing off their muscles. They have a chance to show who's in power. Now, if we come back down to a support level, after the bears have had a chance to take reins of the market, and the bulls do not step in, well, that's a really big sign that the bears are definitely in charge, and you'll probably see a big drop very quickly, you know, if we lose this level. I think that's very safe and reasonable to say, you know, that you'd probably see quite a substantial drop quite quickly if we're not able to find support in this area. But if the bulls do step back in at this area, then what this is saying is the bulls have had their time to shine here. The bears are trying now, but the bulls are taking it back. The bulls are in control. The bears might have a little bit of temporary play, but for the most part, the bulls are in control. It's really important. This is a tug-of-war battle, right? This is exactly like tug-of-war, where the bears are gaining a little bit of a lead temporarily, and then the bulls take it right back. And the thing that I really like about this is if you zoom in and you take a look at what this looks like, I mean, guys, for fuck's sakes, we had a 28% rally to the upside, and we're now down by 8%. This is so healthy. This is really, really healthy. To move up by 28% and now correct by 8 to 10 is amazing. This is one of the best things that can happen in the market. So when I see all this really fearful sentiment, I get it, right? I mean, we're all very hurt from, all these moves, and to be honest, I mean, it's nice. I like to see that people are fucking delusional. They're just they're in their own world of fear and paranoia right now, which is great. It means that the market can be a little bit more predictable for people like me. That's why I was able to get into this position. It doesn't mean I'm going to be correct about this. At the end of the day, I'm just playing probabilities. I mean, as long as the odds are weighted in my favor, I'm playing them, right? And I feel like they still are, purely because I'm seeing so many people just buy into this delusion. We dropped by 9% and the whole thing's over. A deviation, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going deeper into the into the teens. Ladies and gents, I just don't think that falling down to a support level is that bad. And there's more to this. There's much more to this. If we take a look at some of our areas of support, look, we've got our 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. Granted, it's not here right now, but it's only 2 days away. We're going to potentially have some really nice support right here. 1 hour, let's take a look at this. Unfortunately, we've failed it, so that is not a good sign, although this is a very short-term time frame, and we did already get 2-3 nice bounces off this area. 4-hour EMA ribbon, let's take a look at this. We're right at the bottom of it, potentially falling out right now. So this is cutting it close. We do have our 200 EMA right here, which is quite an important line. If you look at this line on the 4-hour time frame, you can see some really nice rejections. Look at this, beautiful rejections coming off this 200 EMA on the 4-hour, and right now it is our support. The last time we used it as support, it actually was one of the factors that potentially showed you that Bitcoin could be ready for a big move up. So again, we've got this stuff going for us. Now we are just on the cusp of losing it, so that's not good. Ideally we would come down to this area, kiss it really quickly, and then just blast right off, and that's not what we're doing. We're hanging around at these areas, and if I have to really dive very, very deep, I would definitely say that these are not good signs. But at the end of the day, to me, this is the area of support. The 4-hour Ichimoku cloud says it perfectly for me. I mean, there's no better way to illustrate this, in my opinion, right here. And so to me, it's not that worrying. It's just not something that concerns me too much. And if we take a look at some of our other charts right here, let's bring you on to this, where is it right here? This parallel channel. You can see that we kind of swinged out of it a little bit, but we have this midline right here, which has been a relatively important line, for this market. If I take off the Ichimoku cloud, you can see this pretty well, where, we actually ended up having a little bit of support right here, a little bit of resistance, a little bit more resistance, and some really nice support as well. So, to come down to this area, the fact that it has confluence as well. I mean, we've got this green line right here at 21.7. We've got the middle point right here. We've got the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. I mean, to me, it just looks like this market has plenty of things still going for it. And at the end of the day, it is just in a retracement. It's in a retracement after managing to rally up quite aggressively, in quite a short space of time as well. I mean, 28%, yeah, I've already said that, but what's the time frame, ladies and gents? We're looking at about 7 days. That's a very, very quick move for Bitcoin, especially when you compare it to the kind of price action that Bitcoin has been seeing in the past. And so, I think that's really, really important to keep in mind. But beyond all of this, one of the other things that I think is really important to look at is just throw on a Fibonacci. And I haven't done this yet, so let's take a look at what this is showing us. Let me bring on a naked chart right here, because I want to show you some new drawings. So let's take a look at this FTX chart. Again, you guys know the deal. I just pick charts completely randomly based off convenience. If we draw a Fibonacci from this very bottom to this top right here, where do we have at 382 level? Honestly, this is poetry. This is actual poetry. I was going to say this is poetic, but it's not poetic. This is poetry. This is the definition of poetry as far as I'm concerned. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at how that 382 level lines up with exactly my range. In fact, if I just throw this onto the previous chart where you're going to remember what I was talking about a little bit more, this is going to make a lot of sense. Take a look at this from low to high. Where does our 382 Fibonacci sit? It sits right within this range right here. I mean, I think that is beautiful. This 382 level right here, pretty much bang on at $21,700. And if you didn't already know, the Fibonacci retracements, in my opinion, they are very, very important. But the two most important levels are going to be the 382 level and the 618 level. And there's some very simple math you can do here to understand these numbers a little bit better. Now, first of all, the main important level is the 618 level right here. But if you flip this around, if you simply punch into a calculator 1 minus this number, that's supposed to be a 1, that's supposed to be a minus. I know I've got the arrows on it, but if you punch in 1 minus this number, your result is this number right here. So these are mirrors of each other, and that makes them both very, very important, right? So, fuck's sakes, sorry about that. So that, I think, is very, very important. Why is my phone not muted? That ringtone, by the way, is hilarious because it comes up in, I don't know if you guys heard it, it was Snoop Dogg. I don't want to get copyright striked, but it comes up in really serious business meetings. It's very funny. Anyway, what we have right here is a beautiful, beautiful Fibonacci level right here, which I'm super happy to see. And the fact that it lines up, I think, is really good. And the 618 level down at 20.1 is also at quite a decent price level. It's also, I think, in a very good position for this market. Like I said, I think that if we lose this area, it's over for Bitcoin anyway. But we haven't done that yet. We haven't even hit our 382 retracement. And when we talk about, what a relatively healthy uptrend would look like, it does definitely include cuts down to these retracement levels. So I think that's the one thing I want you guys to take away from this video. Are we showing signs of weakness? Yeah, maybe. Maybe we are. But at the end of the day, we have to retain perspective on how strong this uptrend was and the fact that corrections are necessary. If you want to continue this thing up, you're not going to do it just constantly moving up and up and up. I mean, you're going to have your nice moves up, you're going to have your drawdowns, and then you're going to continue to move up. It's just the nature of the market. And so, to me, is this concerning? Is it worrying? Am I, no, not at all. Not at all. Not unless we lose our support areas. And this is the thing that I was saying to you guys when the market first kind of fell down to these levels. If you were subscribed back then, you're going to remember this very well, ladies and gents, where I was talking about how, look, I know this market has crashed down by quite a lot. I know it's fallen from 30 down to 20, but let's visualize this market in terms of price ranges, in terms of levels. I mean, this isn't about the percentage drop from here down to here, which admittedly is fucking horrible. It's a 38% drop. I mean, it's quite a lot. I get it. Trust me. I mean, I'm there with you, ladies and gents. I also suffered that loss. But the thing is if you look at how quickly we were able to rise up when we broke that resistance level, this already proves my point. I mean, the fact that we could move up by this much in 7 days only, by 28%. I mean, the drop was 38% down, right? To recover this, actually, let's just measure it from like 28 down to this low right here. This is a 32% loss. So we managed to make 28%, and obviously it's way harder to make money on the way up. You guys always hear me saying this, but the fact that we were able to complete half of that move in just 7 days is the proof that these markets function based off levels. Psychologically, it's going to be a little bit painful to imagine 28 down to 20, and then, maybe 24 down to 21 is a potentially psychologically challenging thing to imagine. But at the end of the day, the numbers really add up here, ladies and gents. I mean, we move down quickly, then we move up quickly. We have our little, retracements. We're visualizing this market in terms of levels, and the thing is there's just no significant level for the market to find support at until this area. So bottom line, ladies and gents, this is the area where I would expect maximum buying support. Admittedly, we're not seeing it yet. This is the only thing that concerns me. We're not seeing it yet. I would have loved to see it a little bit earlier, but I am nitpicking. You know, I still feel like it is potentially a little bit too early to get critical about that specifically. But you know, the other thing which I think is really, really important is, you know, we've got our Fibonacci's, we've got our 4-hour EMA ribbon, I'm sorry, more importantly, the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. Do we have resistance from larger time frames? Yes, we do still have daily Ichimoku resistance. It's not close to us, but it's there. So this currently doesn't weigh on the market in my opinion, but it will soon. Daily EMA ribbon, so far not looking great. Obviously it is looking like this rejection is working, but we're starting to flip some of these lines. So momentum on the daily is shifting. If we find support here and rally up, this is all going to start crossing bullish, and that is going to be really, really significant, because it's going to signify that, you know, like 1 hour time frame, I mean, 1 hour time frame flips horribly, and it just flips like a girl changing clothes. But you know, 4-hour time frame flipped bullish right here, I mean, you know, on the 15th of July, and that shows us a pretty, you know, significant change in the market. We zoom out a little bit more into something like, I don't know, let's use the 12-hour time frame. See, all these flips have already happened, you know, like it's happening on larger and larger time frames now. So, you know, the daily is just kind of lagging behind, obviously, because it's a larger time frame. So that's what I'm seeing in this market right now. Hopefully I've been able to bring you a much more sober approach to what's going on. You guys already know the deal. I'm making all the trades that I rip in this market right on Bybit. This is my favorite place to be, and they have extended that deposit bonus campaign where you can get over $4,000 by signing up using my link in the description down below. So go ahead and check it out. It's free money, and it is the main exchange that I use. So if that seems like a good offer to you, where you can use the same exchange that I'm using and you get paid over $4,000 for it, check out that link in the description down below. And if you want to get yourself inside a VIP, be able to watch me trading in real time, but also get all the in-depth information about every single decision that I'm making, the reasoning behind those decisions, and so on and so forth. There's so much more that goes into VIP as well. You just need to see the full benefits. Then follow these steps on screen as well. First link in the description down below. At 4Flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4Flies Gold, and then send message to ask me how to join. Very quick, 3 simple clicks. It's the only way to join, and it is a direct chat with me. Obviously, if I can't respond to you, one of my assistants will. You guys know the deal, but I think this is a really, really cool way of doing things. We probably will end up moving to a website eventually, but you know, for now, VIP members tend to love it that, you know, you can just message me, you know, whenever you like. So, and I think that's pretty cool as well. I like to be able to, you know, see all of these chats. So there you go. Hope you have enjoyed this one. You know what to do. If you have, hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. Webcam is coming back soon, but I am dealing with a lot of technical difficulties. I'm just trying to work with what I have right now, but very soon I'll be back in my full-time setup. And I'm very, very excited for that. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'm out. Bye-bye.